Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda. I am a fitness coach, ballerina, and public health student. And for the next 5 minutes, we are going to talk about why fad or crash diets do not work. Now, most of us are familiar with the fact that the internet is full of theories that are presented as facts, and publications about weight loss are no exception. One of the most practiced weight loss techniques in our society today is the crash diet. A crash diet is any meal plan that involves significantly restricting caloric intake for weeks at a time, generally without preparation, and then adjusting the dietary plan to include a higher level of caloric intake while maintaining a net deficit. A net deficit of calories is the idea of a diet where your caloric intake is lower than your caloric expenditure or the amount of energy that you have used throughout the day. Now, diet trends such as severely restrictive caloric intake, along with weight loss drugs, lifestyle influencers, and elective surgeries, have all placed cards on the table when it comes to misinforming the public as to what is healthy, what is possible, and what in general will help you to lose weight or maintain your health. Now, how, why, and for whom most of these weight loss methods work is closely related to individuality and personal habits. Many people who have participated in these diets see a decrease in body mass initially, followed by weight gain that may meet or surpass the amount of weight lost while significant calorie restriction was practiced. A less common result of these diets is that people experience little to no fat loss during the restrictive period and gradually lose some weight while working at a caloric deficit. Now, Harvard Medical School has put to rest the idea of crash diets, stating that adopting a radically restrictive mode of eating until weight is lost and then returning to eating as normal is a less than optimal approach to health maintenance. A 2024 study that I want to point to, published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, highlights why these crash diets do not often seem to work for obtaining long-term results. In this study, 17 women volunteered to participate in a weight loss study for 52 weeks. The purpose of this study was to analyze changes in total daily energy expenditure and weight loss when comparing a low-calorie diet to surgical intervention. For the first 8 weeks of this study, 8 women were provided with 5 meals per day, totaling at 800 calories per day. When compared to their recorded average total daily intake versus their total caloric expenditure, what they did was enter close to or at starvation mode because the net caloric expenditure or the amount of energy that we use throughout the day usually accumulates anywhere from 1,600 to over 2,000 calories, depending on personal activity levels and other factors. So, that being said, an 800 calorie intake is extremely low. Now, this low level of caloric intake closes in on the starvation threshold, or less than 1/3 of a person's total daily energy expenditure. While the body is at or close to starvation mode for more than 72 hours, the metabolic activity changes. In order to supply the body with adequate energy, the anabolic process deviates from intake-based glucose production to internal sources. This process involves pulling nutrients from both muscle tissue and adipose tissue or fat in order to produce ATP. At this time, insulin levels decline, the metabolic rate is also slowed by 10 to 15%, and the brain transitions from using glucose for fuel to using ketones produced by the liver during the breakdown of fatty acids. This is similar to the idea of the keto diet, where high protein, high fat, and high sugars are consumed, but it is not in line with exactly what the body needs for fuel, because there are certain things that the body cannot use to produce ATP, such as protein. It requires amino acids and a certain amount of carbohydrates in order to fulfill the metabolic process as it is supposed to be on a daily basis. Now, this is also similar to the way that the body uses fats during extended bouts of exercise, and these are estimated to be over 10 minutes of vigorous activity, but differs in total energy expenditure. During exercise, expenditure increases and fats are used to maintain this voluntary activity. In ketosis, however, the total energy expenditure is lowered as the body becomes the fuel to support its own survival activities. The natural law was supported by the 8-week evolution of the study. Participants who had chosen to follow the 800-calorie plan lost between 4 to 12 kilograms, or anywhere from 8 to 24 pounds. Their total daily energy expenditure was also estimated and recorded to be up to 500 calories less than their baseline expenditure, or the 2,000 plus calories used per day at the beginning of the study. After the 8th week, caloric restrictions were adjusted to a calculated 500 calorie deficit. At the final evaluation, participant outcomes for overall weight loss were recorded, and their total daily energy and expenditure was estimated. While energy levels seem to have returned to normal, participants' weight changes is reported at a negative 4.3 kilograms, give or take 6.7 kilograms, reflecting that while some participants lost up to 24 pounds, at least one gained weight during the study. This supports my previous statement that many people who participate in these crash diets see a decrease in body mass initially, followed by weight gain that may meet or surpass the amount of weight lost while significant restrictions were practiced. Essentially, this happens because a person's response to starvation is different depending on their body. Most people lose muscle mass and fat mass during extreme caloric restriction and are able to avoid future weight gain through a balanced diet when paired with an exercise routine. In some cases, however, the metabolic system does not fully recover from the state of shock triggered by the crash diet and retains a high level of fats and sugars after returning to a normal diet. And this is what we see in people who say that a diet didn't work for them or that they were not able to stick to a diet, because sending your body into survival mode is not a weight loss strategy. It is not effective and it is not healthy. The easiest and hardest way to lose weight and to maintain a healthy body. We don't say BMI anymore. We don't really go by body mass index, but to have a proper body fat percentage or a proper lipid content in your tissue. Exercise and a holistic diet are and will always be the best ways to maintain healthy weight, healthy cardiovascular systems, cardiorespiratory systems, longevity, good hair, good nails, good skin. Everything like that is dependent on your nutrition. And starvation is not the answer. Thank you for listening.